Good morning and welcome back to Community Couch Time. I'm Ms. Guadalupe Carrasco Cardona, and I'm going to come to you daily with topics that we should be talking about, things that are happening globally, things that are happening nationally, things that are happening in our community, but most importantly, things that we oftentimes don't talk about. And the question is, why shouldn't we? And the thing that's really amazing is that we get to share our perspectives with another amazing human being, Miss Tiffany Wallace.
Good morning, great minds and good people. I'm Miss Tiffany Wallace, and thank you for having me for Community Couch Time. Now, let's start the discourse.
Good morning, and welcome back to Community Couch Time. Today, I'm going to take you along on a walk that I went on this morning with my family. I'm going to call it a found walk. Why? Essentially, because I just wanted to see what I would find. I know of poets that create found poems where they do the same. They just incorporate whatever's around them into their poetry. I know artists that do the same. They may go for a walk in the neighborhood, take pictures, see what they see, pick up what they pick up, and incorporate it into their awesome visual art. What I did today is I went around my neighborhood. I went to City Terrace Park, which is really near where I live, and then up and down the streets of my neighborhood. I really love where I live and I really needed the exercise. Plus, I've been a little bit stressed out, worrying about my students, my family, the community, and the increased numbers of COVID. So I'm going to take the time right now to please remind you to wear your mask and remind you to take all the precautions and stay home. I know that it's boring, but you can be creative. And if you need to go on little nature walks, found walks like I did, you can do that as well. You just have to make sure to be safe. So, what did I find that inspired me for Community Couch Time? I found this beautiful mural dedicated to the lovely Vanessa Guillen. We have amazing artists in this community that put up art that has not just a beautiful, like visual, like perspective, but it also has something that's very important to the community, in some cases social, in some cases political. And in this case, we have a beautiful mural here painted by our local muralist, Juan Solis, and it is of Vanessa Guillen. Some of you may have heard of her and some of you may have not. And that's because the mainstream media hasn't really given enough attention to this case. So essentially, this is a beautiful young Chicana from Houston, Texas, who wanted to serve the country. And so the best way she thought she could do that was by enlisting in the Army. She was at Fort Hood and she had been experiencing, from what the reports say, or actually not really the reports because they didn't officially report anything, but from what her family and friends are saying is that she was experiencing discrimination, harassment, sexual harassment on the base, and nothing was ever done to help her. And then one day she just went missing. And so the mainstream media completely ignored it. Her mother was extremely vigilant, and so were her some of her best friends. And because of that, she finally got the type of media attention that she deserved. And essentially what they were saying was, find Vanessa Guillen, investigate. We want to know what happened to our beautiful Vanessa. And the sad thing that we uncovered, or what they uncovered, was that she had been dismembered and buried several miles away from Fort Hood. And so I just wanted you all to know that in this beautiful community, the people here will never forget Vanessa Guillen, thanks to a muralist, Juan Solis Arte. And so what I also want to do is I want to take you on a little cruise to just right here on the corner of the very same street as this beautiful Vanessa Guillen mural. There is another historical piece that is a part of the history and the culture of the City Terrace community. So let's go ahead and take a cruise over there. We just cruised over to Coyolxauqui Plaza on City Terrace Road. Let me give you a little context of the inspiration for this stone that is a replica of an ancient Mexica or Aztec stone found in Mexico City. This is how the legend goes. Coyolxauqui is the daughter of the priestess Coatlicue, or serpent skirt. She was the leader of her brothers, the Senson Huitznahuas, or the 400 Huitznahua. She led her brothers in an attack against their mother, Coatlicue, when they learned she was pregnant. Convinced she dishonored them all, The attack is thwarted by Coyolxauqui's other brother, Huitzilopochtli, who dismembered his sister Coyolxauqui. Knowing his mother's love for her daughter, he threw her to the sky in the form of the moon so his mother could peacefully mourn the loss of her daughter. And that is the way the legend goes. In 1978, workers at an electric company in Mexico City accidentally discovered a large stone relief depicting Coyolxauqui. The discovery of the Coyolxauqui stone led to a large-scale excavation directed by Eduardo Matos Moctezuma to unearth the Huey Teocalli, or the Templo Mayor. The Coyolxauqui imperative is a theory named after the Aztec moon Coyolxauqui to explain an ongoing and lifelong process of healing from events which fragment, dismember, or deeply wound the self spiritually, emotionally, and psychologically. The imperative is the need to look at the wounds, understand how the self has been fragmented, and then reconstruct or remake the self in a new way. Repeatedly enacting this process is done in the search for wholeness or integration. This concept was developed by queer Chicana feminist Gloria E. Ansaldúa. During life in the time of coronavirus, I have spent a lot of time thinking and writing and putting myself together. To be a woman and to be told not to be so opinionated over and over again since you're a child can prevent you from accomplishing goals in your life, only if you let those ways of thinking about a woman do that to you. I now strive daily to put myself back together and remember myself. Every time a woman is literally harmed and dismembered, like Vanessa Guillen, we need to remember to fight for women and to never forget the tragic events of her life that almost went unnoticed by the world. Long live Vanessa Guillen and all women who have suffered like her. For today's Community Couch Time Daily Journal question, who do you want to remember today? A loved one or a person you know of that we lost before their time? In la Quech.